Welcome to today's talk on managing your money. I'm sure you're all too familiar with the saying, "There's too much month left at the end of my money." Don't feel alone. Most South Africans feel the same. Jack, a married father of 2 children, is one of them. He's asked us to help him live within his means. Jack is very worried that he has not been able to save any money for an emergency, and he has no extra money to save for his children's education. He pays a very high interest rate on a TV he bought last year. He pays interest on the interest charged, which means that he ends up paying much more for the TV than if he bought it cash. Jack put down 800 Rand as a deposit on the TV and pays a monthly installment of 479 Rand per month for 24 months. The total cost of the TV will come to 12,296 Rand. If he bought the same TV cash, he would have paid only 7,989 Rand. The additional cost to Jack for wanting the TV immediately and not saving for it first is 4,307 Rand. This is at an interest rate of 23.5%. The only way Jack can make sure he earns more money than he's spending is to work out and stick to a monthly budget. The budget will help him identify areas where he can get rid of his debt sooner and ultimately save more. Let's have a look at Jack's circumstances and give him an example of how he can set up a budget. On the left-hand side of the page, Jack will have a column to list his monthly take-home pay. On the right-hand side, he will list all his monthly expenses. He will then start by listing all the items that are necessities, like rent or bond repayments, and other things he has to pay for every month, like water and electricity, rates, transport and insurance policies. Then he will list the other items his family has to buy or pay for every month, like groceries, cell phone, clothing and furniture accounts. Other things Jack may want to budget for are money for entertainment, school fees, TV licenses and pet food. The trick is to budget for and add everything to the list that you'll be spending money on during that month, like buying lunches, magazines, cigarettes, and going to movies. If, like Jack, you have a spouse and children, you have to sit with them and discuss your budget and what you need to do that month to stay within the budget. You need the support and buy-in from your family members. Looking at Jack's budget, we notice that he has 200 Rand left for the month. Now your first reaction could be only 200 Rand. But remember, Jack has budgeted for everything he and his family will be spending money on during that month. So this 200 Rand can be used to either pay off debt sooner, or he can save that money, for example in an emergency fund, education policies for the children, or perhaps for his retirement. Sadly, reality strikes and Jack's wife reminds him of the new TV he bought. He's still paying the TV off at 479 Rand per month. Immediately the alarm bells go off, and Jack now realizes his budget is not adding up. He's now 279 Rand short to meet the family's financial commitments this month. What could he do about this? To borrow from someone else is not an option, because this will only mean that Jack spirals down further into debt. The only solution is that Jack and his family will have to sacrifice on one of the items in the budget to pay for the TV. Together they will have to decide what item they're going to cut down on: the food, clothing or cell phone expenses. To sit down and do a monthly budget requires discipline. Don't wait until you get an increase or your bonus before you start budgeting. Start immediately with what you have and stick to it. If you want a budget tool to get you going, you can find one at www.afonline.co.za. Now that you've seen how important it is to budget, let's take another look at the 4 basic rules of long-term savings. Rule number 1. Never confuse long-term savings with short-term savings. Long-term savings are your retirement savings, while short-term savings is for something like your emergency funds or saving for a holiday or a deposit on a car. These savings will be invested differently. Rule number 2. Pay yourself first every month. Saving at least 20% of your pensionable income will help you to be financially independent when you retire. Rule number 3. Harness the power of compound interest. Make compound interest work for you when you have to save instead of against you when you have to pay interest on interest when you have debt. Einstein called it the 8th wonder of the world, but that's only if it works in your favor. Rule number 4. Never break into the savings vault. When you leave your employer, don't be tempted to take your retirement fund savings in cash. Save this money for your retirement years. That's when you'll really need it. For more information on what you can do with your retirement savings when you change jobs, refer to our video library on www.afonline.co.za. Are you in the debt trap? Are you caught in debt and don't see any way out? Think about debt counseling. The National Credit Regulator has a list of registered debt counselors. They can help you through the debt counseling process. They will set up an affordable and disciplined repayment plan to help you settle your debts systematically. You may contact the National Credit Regulator on 0860 627 627 or www.ncr.org.za. Discipline is key. Always remember your long-term goals throughout the process. Looking back a year from now, you'll be amazed at how far you've come and what you've achieved.